Hello and welcome to the second attempt of the LinkedIn live chat. Sorry, we had a technical hitch. We are now back live again. This is the first of the series of LinkedIn live chats with the topic Lessons from a Startup. This is a Founder Institute Chennai chapter initiative, and I'm Anu Hasan. I'm very happy to be a part of this series. Founder Institute has launched over 6,000 startups across 200 plus cities in 6 continents. And many of the fastest growing startups use Founder Institute to raise capital. They enter into seed accelerators, find the co-founders, recruit teams, and also transition from being an employer, from an employee to an employer. So there is much more that is gained from these programs, and the flagship program is the core FI core program, and this is something that is designed exclusively for serious founders at very early stage. And we have joining us today Lakshmi, who was part of the Chennai cohort, virtual cohort of 2022, and he's going to share with us some of the lessons that he has learned in his journey. And he is the CEO and co-founder of nicheBrains. And Lakshmi, along with Rehanesh and John, his other co-founders, were part of the Chennai virtual cohort 2022, and they were amongst the highest ranking founders. They've had some seed rounds, and they've also been upgraded to the elite support, which is intense support that is given by FI HQ. Lakshmi is already here. Let me bring him on. Hello, Lakshmi.
Hi, Anu. Nice meeting you and good to be here.
Likewise, and apologies for the technical hitch earlier. And thank you for bearing with us. And thank you very much for, setting the time aside to talk with us today.
My pleasure, Anu.
So nicheBrains. So tell us about it. What does nicheBrains do, and how did this idea come about?
Sure. Thanks. Just nicheBrains basically connects leaders of small and medium manufacturing industry to a verified freelance industry experts in the areas of supply chain, marketing, and Industry 4.0 and AI intelligence, various technologies on demand to accelerate growth and transformation. So we have been we have built a consulting firm, which is basically, we were consultants and we work with large, Fortune 500 companies like Rolls-Royce and Siemens. One problem that always comes across is that there is no guarantee that when a consulting engagement is done, it delivers expected business outcomes. Now, unlike large companies do have a lot of financial resources, a lot of people to take care, still there is a challenge in terms of having these kind of failure happening. But whenever we work with these clients, we always went with say that, okay, we are going to give you for the engagement that we do, the specific business outcomes, and we have been pretty much successful in that. And when these things were happening, we came across that this is not just the problem with these large companies, but also small and medium organizations as well. While, as I said, for the large organization, they have resources. Small and medium enterprises don't have internal resources, and also they don't have a big budget as well. So all these things basically makes the small and medium leaders who are ambitious or also aspirational, but still not able to go for large scale transformation initiatives. So for them, we thought that if we can bring in the verified industry experts who work on business outcome focused engagements and also help them transform faster, in that way, we help all these small and medium enterprises make ready for the future of business. That's how this idea has come, and we launched nicheBrains. I know.
You're breaking out the stereotype of what consultants do. There's a joke, right? Consultants, we are the what guys. We're not the how guys, but you're the what guys and the how guys, and you're also going to get the results guys, right?
That's right. In fact, today the customers are no longer looking for time being spent or reports being given. Whoever thousands of customers whom we have interacted, they said, "Hey, if you're going to give us only reports or you're going to come and then give us the project plan, we are not really looking into it. Rather, we want you to be with us. We want you to come and then deliver us the business value, and then we would love to work with you." That's the kind of a welcome that we get from the people whom we are talking to as well. As you rightly said, it's not just the what guys, but we are also taking care of the how part as well.
Yeah. That's right. And your co-founders are John and Rehanesh.
That's right. So
were you all consultants?
Yeah, so our relationship dates back to more than now 30 years. It's just that we were also, we are from the same college, we did engineering. In fact, we are 4 people, and out of that, 3 people have started nicheBrains, and all of us were same batchmates. We did engineering together, and destiny brought us to work together in the same organization as not just as consultants. We donned different roles as such. Rainesh took care of entire architecture of some of the enterprise applications. John handled various different projects and services for various clients, and also he managed services for large scale implementations as well. I come from the background of digital transformation and also business development, and I'm an INSEAD alumni. So it's kind of a complementing skills that made us work together, and also this being friends, and also have that synergy to fight and then see what is right rather than who is right. That is what makes us sticks together, Anu.
Absolutely. And also, while nicheBrains is a great idea, what made you think that doing the FI core program would be a great idea? Why did you do it?
Excellent. In fact, see, this idea of nicheBrains was there for quite some time because, as we said, it's all about business outcome. But it's like this: as a founders who has an idea, we want to be like always like to see 10 steps ahead. Like we know where we are starting, and we wanted to really see that 10 steps ahead of it. But there is a messy middle as to know where you want to go: the first step, second step, and third step. So that is the portion. Many of the times we always try to think, and we want to do everything together. And at that point of time, when we thought about it, we need to really have a structured way building a business, because running a business is one part where we just focus on getting the sales, whereas building a business thinks about breaking down to different small puzzle parts in terms of solving a problem, building the customer, who's the customers, and how do we go. And when we really looked at it compared with many other programs and accelerators, we found that Founder Institute has these kind of different pieces of puzzles deconstructed into small elements in weekly sprints. And every week you are able to break down these different and complex puzzles into a small element and able to address them and iterate and then go back. So that kind of a structure helped us, it made us think that, okay, if we do this, possibly we have more clarity, and in terms of breaking down into multiple priorities and then see which one to pick first and then address it and then go to the next. So these were some of the things. When we evaluated, we saw that Founder Institute program was quite useful, and then I believe that we made the right decision at that point of time.
And is the Founder Institute program tailor-made for different people? I assume the sprints would be different for different people, right?
Right. So there are two kinds of tracks with us there. Like, see, this is for basically for the founders who are at the early stages and who are just about to launch, or who have launched and then looking to really grow their startup. These are the two kind of tracks actually. Because if you have just an idea and then you wanted to really create an idea into a kind of small startup, and that's kind of a track where you really evaluate whether the idea is worth solving, and is this the really is it the instead of focusing on the solution, you try to focus on the problem, because that is one of the fundamental criteria for any startup to really go for it. This is one kind of a track, while the growth focuses more on customer acquisition and also go to market, and somewhere both of them converge as well. These two are different tracks. And also, this is also, I would say that it doesn't matter whether you are building a healthcare startup or whether you are building a marketplace or a deep tech, but these fundamental frameworks remains the same, and one can take what is applicable for them, because as I said, it's also about small puzzles. So you can take that one element and then apply it to your startup, go in deep and go into a deep reflection on each of the points, and then come back. And that's where you go about doing the program as well. That's what it is.
Yeah, it sounds like an active MBA with while you're also working on your startup. So that's what it sounds like. And also tell us, so how long has it been since you've been at the helm of nicheBrains?
Yeah, so we started this. I would say that we launched a very pre-MEP, a purpose built somewhere in early 2021, and we thought that when we launched, a lot of people will come in and then do, and then it's like, no, you open a shop and then nobody was coming in as such. So then we tried doing this, and then we started doing certain interaction, and it was working, and that's where we did. I would say that the FI program last October we passed out, and since then we kind of seen a good amount of growth. As I said, we could fix our go-to-market, we could fix our who are the target customers whom we are going to target in the initial stage. And right now, when I really look back in the last 8 months since we finished October program, we could have about 700 plus experts on our platform, and also had completed 10 plus engagements, and and we also kind of crossed $100,000 in revenue. So it's a kind of a good amount of focused approach we were able to do it after the program as well.
Yeah. And one of the things that people assume when they think of startups is they only think about the glory, right? Very few people, and that's what drives them. And of course, the glory is fantastic. And you get multiple X returns, and you're exiting, and you want to be a unicorn, all those fancy terms. But people forget that being part of a startup involves a lot of pain and a lot of challenges. So, what are the challenges that you have overcome in this journey, and what have those challenges taught you?
So definitely, see, there is always a thing that when you are a founder and when you are a domain expert, you think that you know everything, and that's where you start with, and then you go, and then the first when the rubber meets the road, you think that you can talk anything, and then you can raise the funds, and then you launch the product, and everybody comes in. The first reality is that when you launch the product, nobody comes in because no, that's where, and you think that you are solving a good problem, but it's not the case. Maybe you are solving the right problem, because when we went and see that, as you rightly said, we are solving a good problem. But if you are not able to communicate effectively to the right customers who are early adopters, then that's naturally you're not really in a right place as well. So one of the first challenge that we addressed as is that we are not really targeting the right customers. So we were able to identify our niche customers to start with, or rather, we put it this way, as early adopters, customers in the initial stages. Until that point of time, it was like, no, we try to go and then bang the doors, and then we couldn't really get those customers as well. So that's one of the initial challenges that we did have faced. And the second one also, we did have initially, we thought that we would do like more like a doctor appointment, like have like 1 hour conversation with consultants. That was the initial model. Like we thought that it's more like a micro counseling rather than consulting. We just give an advice, like you give an advice as an outcome, but which was not working for us in the in the initial days. Then we pivoted into a say that okay, it's not just the advice, rather business outcome focused engagement, and that's where we pivoted, and then we remodified our platform to handle these entire workflow as well. This is the second kind of a challenge that we face, and the third part definitely is on raising the funds, because that you can I would say that you can always get the money because you're solving a great problem, and that's all that's always the kind of feeling we all have, right?
Premise, yeah.
So uh, better would be to see is that this is one of the one of the founder institute mentor was telling us about this. This is like this: you could be building a great company, but the first important part is that you need to also fix your pitch, because the language that you speak need not be the language that the prospective investors would be able to understand. So how do you bridge the gap between what you are talking and also what the investors can understand? That is the important perspective that we could get, and that helped us in terms of fine tuning our pitch to a great extent. Of course, it's a work in progress, I would say, but it gives us that initial headway in terms of raising our first round of funding as well. So these are things, and of course, we are still facing everyday challenges. But at least I would say that previously, no, it was more like a dark, but at least now we have a torchlight with those kind of arms and ammunition we could learn from Founder Institute program, which helped us in terms of solving this whenever it comes. That's my experience.
No, it's interesting that you mentioned the torch, because when I was talking to a group of very young founders, they said, we have the torch in our hand, and at least we can see 1 foot ahead. We're going to say, wait until we can see the entire path, and then only we can move forward. Then we are not going to get anywhere. But that's how the journey of a startup always is, isn't it? A lot of the time, you're figuring out things on the fly. Also, you're learning, creating foundation, but then the environment and the situation changes, and then you have to change and pivot like you did, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, I
Yeah.
thought you were
So yeah, as you're right. I mean, you cannot really have a complete road being visible to you. It's again, I mean, if I can take a metaphor, startup is like you don't you are getting into a forest where you only know what is your next step is, and then you have to make a road for you to go ahead. That's my way of looking at how to figure out things. Yeah.
right, right. And how has your equation with the co-founders, has it changed in any way? How has it been since your journey has started?
Right. So as I was saying, see, running a business is one part, which we were doing for the last 10 years. Like we did start off our own company in somewhere in 2010. We worked with quite a good amount of thing. And as we said that we have an equation that we always believe in what is right, but at some point of time running a business is one part, but building a venture is another part. But after a FI program, what we come to a realization is that yes, we are accountable not just for the customers, which we used to. We are accountable for ourselves. We are different, and the venture that we are building is different. We have to really look this in a dispassionate way, and then put the objectives in front, and then really see how we can stretch ourselves to meet month on month goal. And if suppose somebody is not able to, one of us are not able to meet, so how we can help each other, or also at the same time how we can hold each other accountable without really getting into a wrong foot. That's These are some kind of some small things we are able to change in our way we are able to work together. And I would say that this also helped us understand better. We do have some kind of sometimes we do have tough conversation, but this tough conversation is all about the objective that we wanted to achieve, and which is possibly now it's possible for us to have because of the fact that we are able to have these thought process created during the program. Because that's otherwise possibly we could have been friends, and then we are running the business, and then we are able to go through it, and we just go with the business as usual. But today we are able to see that, okay, we are able to see that this is where we are looking to go forward in the next 1 year. If we need to go, what should we be doing? And if anybody
Yeah.
needs help, let's put in that. That's what the change yeah.
And what is a message that you would like to give people who have very, who even just have ideas, that not everyone is already, taken the first step into building their startup. And a lot of many people out there have ideas. In fact, we have one question here saying, what do you think of a food tech startup? Prabhu Kumar is asking us. So, what would you tell people with just ideas?
So I'd say that, I would put it my experience. This is again, I always say this. It takes a village to raise a good kid. So an idea or a startup is like a very, it's like it's a vision that you have to raise a kid. And that will not happen just by a one single person. You need, I would say, an ecosystem where you have get all the support it is needed. Like when you're bringing in a kid, you have a mother, father, uncle, auntie, brother. So similarly, a startup needs to be built by not just founders, employees. This is internal, but also you need well wishers. You need mentors who can really give that external perspective and put hard questions. And you need investors who can put build trust you and put money. And then you also need people who can connect you to them. So all this need to be thought through. So when you are having an idea, and when you will be able to reach that, when you are able to be a part of an ecosystem. So you need to really think that when you have an idea, think on all these angles rather than only thinking inside out. Rather than thinking holistically can help you to really go to the next level is what my experience and my perspective on the idea level or a startup level. And yeah.
Right. And so what you're saying is it can be a lonely journey, but it cannot be a solo journey. That's what you're saying, isn't it?
That's right. That's right. I mean, yeah. I think you brought in a very interesting perspective. It is definitely be even a co-founder. Also, it could be even if you have people, it can be a lonely journey startup, and sometimes you would hit the wall where you don't know which way to go forward. But when you have, it need not be a solo journey as well. So if you have people around you, they always come to help you, pull you out, or even just give that kind of comforting word that pulls you out, and then you will be at the end of the day, you might find a solution. But having someone to believe in you is what is something which is important. Who is, if that person is not from your co-founder or not from your close circle, that even pushes you to do your best. That's how it is.
Right. And when we were talking about when I introduced you, I mentioned the elite support. So what exactly is this?
So, Founder Institute, again, see, my experience with Founder Institute, it starts from the fact that when we started, it analyzed, our as an entrepreneurial capabilities on some 8 different dimensions, if I remember correctly, it's 8 different. So it also helped us in terms of seeing where are your strengths and then where you need to improve. That is one starting point. And then there is a core program which focuses on the building blocks of different, to be a successful startup, which is like revenue, customer development, go to market. So once you pass out of it, if you are executing on what you have been doing as a weekly sprint, or what you have agreed on the startup, and then you are showing, because then the result starts to happen. because it's all about ingredients of a successful startup. And when you know that you're doing something really, something wrong or something going wrong, then naturally you can go back and then fix it and then do it. Naturally, the results is a byproduct of these kind of efforts that we are putting. And when we do that, naturally the result starts to show. And we are basically saying that yes, we found a problem. There is a startup which is addressing and then giving a solution which is unique, and it's also showing the growth. And that's where the FI Elite support comes into picture, saying that this has a potential to grow as a global organization, and also a fast-growing startup, and which possibly at some point of time can be a venture fundable as well. So these are some. And then the FI HQ has not just, previously we used to be only part of the FI Chennai, but now we also have access to the global mentors who has much broader range of connects with investors, not just in India, but across the people. And they want to make sure that apart from your own effort, they also pull in and then put their weight behind you in terms of connecting you to right mentors who are global, who has done this, and also connect you to the investors, and pull you in terms of putting you in front of the right forums, and then that they can give you a right advice. And they want to make sure that not just in this journey, as you rightly said, you're not just alone. We are all there. We are all giving you the push to give you that thing, and there is a specific attention which you are given as an elite support. You get that direct attention from the HQ, which helps you to, when you're expanding to a newer region where the entry barrier is made simpler. Those are the things which is different. So the criteria for that is that you're able to show that growth in the initial stages, and then you're able to prove that whatever you're solving is a real problem and you're solving it as you say. Those are things that qualifies for an elite supporter.
Which rather neatly segues into my last question, which is, obviously you've shown promise, which is why you've got this elite support. What does the future hold for nicheBrains? Where are you headed, and where do you see yourself going?
Right. So, see, we are at the stage. I would say that we have validated our business model, and we have also have successfully delivered engagements which believe that which can be scaled. Now, our target is that we are kind of right now we are in the closing stage of the second round. So hopefully, we will be able to close it by end of next month, where we will be able to announce it, which is what I'm waiting for. And in the next 18 months, our target is that have this business model validation be able to consistently replicate, so that we are in the journey of product market fit. So that's the first goal, and that we want to achieve it, because this is also something which my mentor also always say, that if you're able to publicly say that, that's where you're also accountable. So we wanted to really have successfully complete 200 plus engagements in this next 18 months, so that we are able to show that this model works at a much larger scale, and which can help us to grow further. That's what is the important goal. And what we are doing basically is that eliminating the friction between the leaders of small and medium, as well as these independent consultants, to work in a trusted way and make them ready for the future of business. And that's what is our goal in the next 18 months, which can help us to grow further. So that's the immediate goal for us and the next 18 months as such. Yeah.
Right. And now that we are here on this platform, and some people may have joined this conversation late. So before we wind up, can you tell them how they can contact nicheBrains, and how can nicheBrains help the SMEs in their growth?
Excellent. So nicheBrains, as I mentioned, which it connects the freelance experts, industry experts in the areas of digital transformations with leaders of small and medium enterprises. And they can come on to nichebrains.ai, which is our website, and then register themselves either as SME clients or experts, which is access is free. And then they can, then we will be able to guide them as to how they can benefit through the platform in the areas of growth and cost reduction, and modernizing their business operations as well. So that's how they can reach out to us as well.
Wonderful. So thank you very much, Lakshmi, for the time that you spent. And I'm sure that some of the lessons that you shared will help. And I hope that this conversation has also triggered some interest in nicheBrains, and we have some people contacting you on this. Good luck with your next round, and wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Anu, and thank you, Anu, for this opportunity, and also for the Founder Institute for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts and journey till now. I'm sure we are just starting, and then long way to go. But I have the confidence that I have a good amount of support from people of Founder Institute as we go through this journey. And thank you for this opportunity, Anu. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lakshmi. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.